Hey guys, it's the Costume Jeweler. I am now in Ybor City, and as you can tell, my tongue is hanging out and my mouth is watering because I'm about to eat barbecue at one of my favorite places. If you guys have never been here, you should try it. Al's Finger Licking Good Barbecue. So at Al's, I got me some banana pudding for dessert, chopped sausage, chicken and rice, and potato salad, and a sweet tea. Some of the best barbecue you will ever eat. So hey guys, it's the Costume Jeweler coming back to you. I just finished up this great barbecue. If you guys have never been to Ybor City or Al's Finger Licking Good Barbecue, you should try it out at some point. So now we're going to go around and tour Ybor City a little bit. You can see that it has a lot of Louisiana influence as well. You will see lots of shotgun style homes around here. In Ybor City, there's going to be a lot of history here. Again, it has some French influence Louisiana. It kind of reminds you of, some of the buildings remind you of New Orleans. But there's a lot of Cuban history here. And Ybor City was founded by a cigar guru, which we will tell you the history on in just a bit. So the building I just showed you is the Italian Club. There's a little bit of history about that building. And as you can see, Ybor City has a lot of buildings that looks like something you would find in New Orleans. Ybor City is also known for their great Cuban sandwiches, as well as their cigar manufacturing. The other thing Ybor City is known for is its wild chickens. And as I was telling you, there's a lot of wild chickens in Ybor City. I'll show you some videos of many more in a few minutes, but they walk all over the city and are protected. I think those chickens are headed in here to get them a cigar. So one of the famous things about Ybor City too is their hand-rolled cigars. You can see the people in here making them. Pretty interesting to watch the process of a hand-rolled cigar. Now I'm going to take you guys to see the wild chickens of Ybor City. There's interesting history on these chickens. Ybor City brags about the fact that these chickens are descendants of chickens over 100 years ago that lived in the backyards of residents' houses here. But I can't imagine that any chicken is not a descendant of a chicken that's over 100 years ago. So these chickens that I'm about to show you video of are wild chickens. They are protected by city ordinance. You're not allowed to feed them or anything, but they are everywhere. The chickens have plenty of food. They feed a lot off the acorns. There's a lot of small houses in Ybor City. And there are also some houses that were built for the workers who worked in the cigar factories here. They were actually built by the owner of the cigar factory, and he let the workers live in there and buy them interest free. Here's some more chickens. Here's the boss man. These chickens just roam the streets. Here's the Ybor City Museum State Park. This building was built in 1923 and was originally a bakery.
The story of Ybor City is a...
Jews were a part of the Cuban independence movement, assisting Jose Marti. Jewish merchants in Ybor City were very responsive because they had seen repression and they had seen many of their families being killed. And when Marti came,
They rolled 5 identical cigars in the old Halloran factory of West Hannah. And in one of the cigars, they rolled the orders of insurrection. De Quesada takes these cigars to Key West, then to Cuba. He then delivers the orders of insurrection and the revolution that begins the Cuban War. Define the world of the immigrant and the mutual aid society. And that's what distinguishes Tampa from other.
Ybor City is named after V.M. Ebor, who moved his cigar manufacturing company here in 1886.
Sense of belonging pervaded the place. What a colorful place. What a great place to grow up.
Everybody knew each other. Everybody watched out for everybody's kids. It was everybody playing marbles or playing a palito, which was a thing where you get a stick.
Ybor City was one of the great immigrant.
The historical museum I'm standing in now, as I was talking about earlier, which is shown on the outside of the building, used to be a bakery. Here is one of the original ovens, or the original oven. And this bakery began in 1896. We're going to take a look inside the original oven now. And here is a second part of the original oven of the Felita Bakery. Here's some history about the cigar worker in Ybor City. Here's some history on how to make a cigar. Here are some antique cigar box advertisements. And here is the Ybor City seal. And as you walk outside, you have the wild chickens to greet you. They love Ybor City. These three homes here are historical because they were built back in the day of the cigar manufacturing by the man who owned the cigar manufacturing plant. He would actually build these homes for his workers. His workers would get to own them and pay him back for the home interest-free. There are three that are standing in Ybor City. Some of the old buildings in Ybor City. Here's a great old cigar sign. Here's a statue of the founder of Ybor City. So this is a store that I've been into before. It's called La France. It's a vintage clothing and jewelry store in Ybor City. It's going to have all kinds of sunglasses, vintage jewelry, purses, hats, and clothing. So we're going to go ahead and take a look around and see what they might have. So La France in Ybor City is one of my favorite places to thrift. They have a lot of vintage clothing. They have tons of vintage jewelry. Very unique items. You're probably not going to get to see everything, but I'm going to take you through and show you a few things, and I may highlight special pieces as we go. A crown headband with crystal rocks This is a very interesting piece. It's a bracelet or a necklace. It looks like a couple of eyeballs or a smiling face without the... Here's another necklace. It's 3 eyeballs. Do you feel like someone's staring back at you? I feel like somebody's staring back at me as I look into this display case of jewelry. France also has a wide selection of vintage rings. They have beautiful rhinestone jewelry. Obviously a huge selection. This is all the type of jewelry I like to find in thrift stores. The bold octopus necklace. Alligator choker necklace. Look at this necklace. This is awesome. I've never seen so much jewelry, unique jewelry in one place.
I love it. I think it's great.
And if you're looking for a flamingo dress and purse, you found the place. Big selection of brooches. This necklace is outrageous. Here's a pretty abalone shell necklace. and matching earrings. This vintage store carries purses like I find at thrift stores. Lots of vintage clothing.
Cash refund, but none of the money came from the register. I took it out of the deposit. I didn't want to because it was like so you'll be off by like $197.
Lots of great vintage hats at this store. Here's a great purse. Since I love Halloween, this would be great for somebody on my shop. We have some good cameos in here. Here's a 1950s Poodle Purse. The France store has a lot of great costumes, costume clothing. I usually get mine online, but they really have very unique pieces of clothing here. I think I found my next new mask. Here's a pirate vest. Lots of canes, unique boots, costume suit jackets. Here's a green one for St. Patrick's Day coming up. This store also has lots of hats to choose from. I think this little guy's missing his hat. Just spotted a great steampunk hat. Steampunk top hat, striped.
I'm gonna stay for 2 seconds.
So we've had a lot of fun in the store today. I've been in here before. It's called La France in Ybor City. They have tons of jewelry and eclectic items. Women's clothing, men's clothing. It's vintage. Well worth coming into the store if you've not been here before.
Those are 16.
I may have to use some of these costumes for some future shows. Now I'm about to go in another store that I love to go into called Dysfunctional Grace. Now I'm about to go into another store I love called Dysfunctional Grace. Series of taxidermy and antique certificates and other antique items. Here's a shotgun house in Ybor City. It's for rent. 800 square feet. Can't really see a lot with the fence up so close. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed touring Ybor City with me. The wild chickens, the great barbecue, and the thrifting in the vintage store that had tons of vintage jewelry, clothing, and all kinds of items. Until tomorrow, have a great evening.